Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm your host, The Treatment, and this is another video in our How To Ashteki series, a video series geared towards onboarding new players to the online platform for playing Ashes Reborn. And in this video, we are going to be covering the in-game UI elements. So I already have here a game set up for myself in a dummy account with the first adventure decks to make this easy. And the first thing I wanted to mention is that once you've created the game, there is a copy game link button here, which you can use to send to your opponent via Discord or other ways. And that allows them to just immediately hop in the game. And then before starting a game, I always suggest just confirming with your opponent that they are ready to go. And once they are, then you can hit start, and that will connect you to the game server, and then we're in. So let's talk about the UI here first before proceeding with our first 5 selection. On the top, you have your opponent, and you're always in the bottom. And we have their life total, their main action, side action, and reaction icons. So that lets you know when they're white, they haven't been used yet, and then they'll be grayed out once they've been used. Here in this side, the left side, you're going to have the cards that have been played. So it's kind of like a game log. You also have the ability to concede, or at the end of the game, once there's been a winner, to leave the game. It indicates the round and how many spectators, and then there are some settings which we're not going to cover in this video. On the right side, you have similarly another more detailed text-oriented version of the game log, and you also have the chat bar. So either you can chat with your opponent or people who jump in can chat. It can also be collapsed, and you can also copy the log for outputting to text if you want to do that. The bottom left, we always have the game prompts. So you can see here that the first thing it's doing is prompting us for the setup phase, but anytime there's an action in the game, a reaction, a notification to say that your opponent is attacking you or otherwise, this will prompt you and give you the options available. And then similarly, you have your own health line, main, side, and reaction. So the nice thing about the pre-built decks, so the first adventure, adventure party, and precons, is that they already come loaded with the first 5 selected for you. But if you're playing your own deck or you want to change things up from what the first 5 is, it's simply a matter of clicking one of the cards out, and that leaves a spot for you to bring something else in. And then once you're ready, you click start the game, and you wait for your opponent to start as well. And then we are good to go. So in this case, I did not, the Aradel player, myself, did not roll the most basics, so it's up to the opponent to choose who goes first. And we'll just say that Aradel is going to play first. The prepare phase, it always has, at the very start of the game, the ability to discard. Generally, because you've selected your first 5, you're not going to do that unless you're playing some sort of shenanigans, maybe with James. But it gives you the option, so just make sure that you don't discard any of your first 5, and your opponent will play the same, and then we're off to the races. So here we go. The dice on the left are always in color when they are available, and then they will get grayed out when exhausted. And then you have your cards here, which is easy enough to just select, and it will give you a prompt whether you actually want to play or you can cancel it. So it's very straightforward to play. If something is not available to be played, it will let you know. And so for here, we're just going to start playing some cards down just to get to the actual action and show you some of the things that pop up in the game. But I will right now show you meditation. So we have Final Cry here. We want to be able to have a goat showing. So we're going to meditate. It gives you the option to either discard from hand, from spell board, or from the top of the deck. Now, obviously, in the first round, we don't want to discard our first 5, but we do want to go from top of deck. So first you select top of deck, then we select which dice we want to raise, and you can do this multiple times. So for instance, here we're going to bring up a ceremonial power. We also know that we want to play Gilder, which is going to require 1 nature class and Aradel, so we'll do another here. Miss Spirits were good, and False Demon were good. So now we can stop meditating. And the discard pile and the drop piles are clickable, so you can reveal, and sometimes it's helpful to actually just keep them open off to the side so that you always know what you're drawing. It might just be easier for you if you're a visual player rather than sort of keeping track of all the cards in your head. They're also adjustable in terms of the windows, but also the card sizes depending on your device. So that can be really helpful. I find the defaults generally on a regular PC and monitor is fine, but for tablets, you definitely need to size down. So that is our turn. We've played a book, we've meditated. You can see here that the main and side actions are done, and so I have nothing left to do, and I'm going to end the turn, passing it over to Saria. And let's just make it simple and have Saria play the Raven book, and I'm going to use her ability. So when an opponent uses their ability, generally, it will notify you if you have an action to do. But in this case, because Saria's ability just gives her the option of doing something, in this case discarding from our deck, it's automated. So you'll see here that the Widows were discarded and Heart's Pull is now exhausted. So you can always tell what's exhausted and whether a PB has used their guard, which hopefully we'll get to. But all the tokens are automated for you. So Saria's going to pass back, and now we're here with Airedale. Let's get just the Misties out and pass over. And just going to go quickly for a couple things here. So now we can get the Mist Spirits out. Let's do that. So you'll notice there that with the Mist Spirits, because you have an option of playing 2 for an extra die, it asks you, and in this case I do want to play 2, so you can select what you want. Yeah, in this case we're gonna play a reaction when the Raven comes down and eats one of the Mist Spirits, because I want to show you what that looks like. So we're gonna play a reaction here, and I'm not playing strategically, so please ignore what choices I'm making, what dice I'm spending. I just want to showcase some of the things here. So the Raven is going to eat a Mist Spirit, and now it prompts for a reaction. If you have the right dice for it, then obviously it's available, but if you don't, then it won't give you the opportunity. Unless you have bluff timers turned on, then it will tell you something is occurring, and because it's a bluff timer, it will appear to your opponent that you're thinking about a possible reaction. So here we do any reactions. Yes, we want to play Final Cry, so we select it. It will automatically use the die available. And now Saria has 2 wounds, and we're all good. So she's going to pass. And now what we're going to do is we're going to use Airedale's ability. So Water Blast, and whenever you use an ability or even when you attack, you always select the target that you want to use, unless it's something like Nature's Wrath, which will automatically trigger a selection to go through each unit that it applies to. And now we can attack. So I'll show you what an attack looks like. Here, we first select a target. So in this case, there is no unit, but we can select Saria. And then once we've selected the target, we select the units that we want to use. So when we're attacking a Phoenixborn, we can naturally choose as many units as we have, in this case only 1. And then you select Done, and it will give the opponent an alert so that they know what's happening in case they also have a reaction. And I'll show you what that looks like on the reverse side as well. So we can get that set up now. Here we'll end our turn, and we will play the Hammer Knight. So there you go. So now we don't have much to do. We want to play maybe the False Demon here, and we're going to get hit to face just so that we see what that looks like from the other side. So you can see here, this is the alert. When we attacked with the Mist Spirit, this was the alert that your opponent got. This is the alert you get. So you have to select OK for the resolution of the attack. And now we've received damage. So now let's do something a little bit different. We're going to play the False Demon to show you what an activated ability looks like. So you can see when the demon comes in, because it is a target unit, it is technically possible for you to clear your own units. So just make sure that you don't click too fast through the prompts. In this case, we want to damage the Hammer Knight and then pass our turn. And we'll show you another prompt here, which is when Abundance is used. So Abundance allows you to choose whether you take damage or draw cards. And so in this case, we're just going to draw. And then it goes back to your opponent. Here, we're going to show a Phoenix-born guard. So I'm going to attack the Hammer Knight because that would threaten to be able to kill it off with the Frog Ping. And so that's going to swing where our opponent now has the option of using their guard, which they will, and it notifies you that the guard is used in case you have a reaction to that. And so you can see now there's an icon. So we have the 3 different icons here. This is the guard has been used, her ability is used, so she's exhausted, and she's taken damage. Now we're going to pass and play, well, in this case, we're going to play an Enchanted Violinist, but instead of using its ability, I want to show what it looks like when you use your guard on the other side. So here, we're just going to play the book. And now this is what it looks like when you use your guard. So Saria is attacking the Mist Spirit with the Enchanted Violinist. It tells us that it's being attacked. So first we select OK, and then we get to choose. I don't have the Gilder down, but if I did, that would be one of the options to guard this unit. So in this case, I'm going to select Saria, and then it will notify our opponent, and they will resolve the damage. And now we're basically done showing all the possibilities here. But there is one more thing I want to showcase. We'll see if we can do it off of our own unit just for the sake of showing the different possible things. So first, since we have a second Final Cry, remember you can trigger things on your own units if it's just a target ability. So we're going to kill off the Mist Spirit, and you'll notice that it gives us the right prompt because we haven't used our reaction yet. There we go. And I think that about showcases everything. In the same way that you can view your own draw pile and discard, you can view your opponent's discard pile, and that can be really helpful when you're playing in order to keep track, like I said, of what they have available to them, especially if you suspect they're running 3 copies. But now we get to the place where we're just going to pass into the next round. So I'm going to end, and then our opponent is going to, oops, sorry, actually, I want to show you what it looks like on our side. So we're going to do that. And let's just make it so that we're not the ones passing. So this attack obviously doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like a main pass here, but I just want to showcase what it looks like when we go into the next round. So Saria passes, and now if we pass or just meditate, it will tell us that we're about to end the round. And so it's nicely colored. It indicates, yes, we do want to, just in case it's a mistake. And here it asks you to select dice to keep. By default, Ashteki will keep any power sides, but you are also able to click any other dice that you might want to keep, like class sides, for instance, and note that they are in yellow when they're selected. So if I turn that off, there's a little haze over it, but that doesn't mean it's selected. So yellow means it's selected. Then we click done, and our opponent will click done. And then now we're at the prepare phase. So this is where you might want to actually discard a card. So if I say yes, I can select the card, highlight it in green. If I choose, actually, no, I made a mistake, I don't want to do that, I can unselect and just click done, and it will wait for our opponent. And now we're ready to start the next round where Saria will be going first. Here you can see the active player is in green, and when you're not the active player, you're black, but it also shows who has the first player token. And that is about it. The game log, like I said, is on the right. It can show you cards if you forget what they do in a hover over. And it's very straightforward. I'm going to cover manual mode in another video, which is used when you make mistakes. So if you make a wrong attack and you need to roll things back, or you accidentally selected the wrong card, for instance, I played Gilder and I killed off my own Mistspirit instead of killing off the Enchanted Violinist. Maybe that was a mistake. You can roll things back, but that's going to be in another more advanced video. So for now, I hope that enables people to get comfortable just playing a simple game of Ashes. And yeah, to everyone out there, have a good day.